Hi, this is Mike Pantano, and this show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by my very own Pantano's Gourmet, where we love to feed you. Pantano's Gourmet has 2 locations, including Hempstead Turnpike in Uniondale and on Broadway in Hewlett, serving breakfast all day, crazy lunch sandwiches, or we can cater your next event. Our menu offers made-to-order burgers, chopped salads, grilled paninis, acai bowls, and more. Why cook? Pantano's delivers. More information and the full menu are available online at pantanosgourmet.com.
Oh, Pantanos!
Might will made.
As promised, welcome back to Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Here we go.
Oh.
Yeah, Devin, man.
There we go.
I don't know, man.
We feel sorry for you.
Do we? No, I do, actually. I do.
50%.
I actually find myself feeling bad for the sensible Cowboys fan, like the one we have on the show.
Yeah, we feel bad for you. We don't feel bad for the other ones.
No.
Hey, you lost your OC today, I saw.
Yeah, the longest tenured OC
was it
in
15
the NFL.
years?
15 years, Pete Carmichael, moving on from New Orleans. He didn't move on, he got fired.
Yeah.
But some interesting sound came out of New Orleans today from GM Mickey Loomis.
I'm going to say Zion.
No, we don't want to hear from Zion, trust me. But if I can try to find this clip. Yeah, here it is. So Mickey Loomis, not to go off on the side too far from where we're going on the show, but here's Mickey Loomis, the Saints general manager, explaining why one of the worst head coaches in history, by record alone, Dennis Allen, is returning as the Saints head coach.
Here's his first 3 seasons: 6-10, 7-9, 7-9. Tom Landry, 0-11, 4-9, 5-8, 4-10, 5-8.
So I'm going to stop you right there.
He's comparing him to Tom Landry?
Because, yeah, Tom Landry had a rough start, but mind you, that was like the beginning stages of the Cowboys ever. Dennis Allen inherited a multi-year Super Bowl contender under Sean Payton and turned it into a joke franchise.
He thinks there's a dynasty forming here. Dennis Allen under Allen.
Yeah, if the New Orleans Saints turn into the Tom Landry Dallas Cowboys, I got a beach house in Idaho to sell you too.
You got Derek Carr, quarterback. What? There's no dynasty starting. What?
No, I'm telling you, if the Saints turn into a dynasty because they weren't panicky and they didn't fire Dennis Allen, I will fry up a penny loafer and eat it with sweet and sour sauce on air. It's not gonna happen. Who? Dennis Allen? Dennis Allen. This is not a leader of men we're talking about. What are we talking about? Give me this is the state of what was once a respected franchise under Sean Payton and Drew Brees into this.
There's a plethora of options to go at coach instead of Dennis Allen.
It's the same thing literally with the Jets. It's the same thing with the Saints. There's so many coaching candidates that just got let go that are better than what they're having underneath behind the sidelines.
Ross,
right now.
This is the most deep coaching pool in terms of free agents we've ever had. Right. Bill Belichick. Who knows if Nick Saban wants to come back to the NFL? Pete Carroll.
Plenty of OC and DCs from many teams.
I don't want Nick Saban.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't want Nick Saban. Saban was terrible.
No, Saban's just a name I'm bringing up, but you have guys like Bobby Sloak, who's done a great job with C.J. Stroud in Houston in year one. These are the guys we're talking about. But you're going to stick with Dennis Allen, who's like 20 and a million win-loss record as head coach for the Raiders and the Saints. It's not like this is just a Saints thing. He was doo-doo on the Raiders as well. This is well-documented history.
This is like, I mean, listen, according to your owner, and it's a shame, according to your owner, that's a really good record.
Oh, by the way, speaking of owners that are bad people, Gail Benson, I ain't forget about you with the Catholic Church. Oh. I ain't forget about you. I'm going to leave it there.
Tom Landry walked so Dennis Allen can run.
That's disrespectful.
That's what they're saying.
That's so disrespectful. And I can't stand the Cowboys, but that is disrespectful. I mean, that's like, if you're like get out of here. Like there's the door and just like get out of here. Like we don't even want to hear a word from you. Like after that, that's like one of the dumbest comments you could ever have.
And the sad thing is, as a Saints fan, this is the franchise. This is what it's devolved into. Like I'm used to it at this point. But let's talk about some better things in the world of sports. Let's get into this around the NBA segment real quick. The Brooklyn Nets, they're not doing so well. So they're looking to avoid their fourth straight loss at Portland tonight. Remember, we talked to Travis Demers about 10 days ago on the show. Portland is very bad, but they also beat the Nets, who are also very bad, 11 days ago at Brooklyn. So they're at Portland for round 2. Brooklyn's lost 8 of their last 9 in 14 of their last 18 since the rest game debacle versus the Bucks, where Mikal Bridges and other players played just the first 12 minutes and then sat for the rest of the game. Like, that's normal coaching.
In the last 16, they've won 3 games. One being against the Thunder, but the other 2 in those 3 games in the last 16, both against the Pistons. One of them they almost lost.
That's good context. One of the only teams they've beaten in this losing stretch was the worst team we've ever seen in the NBA by a win-loss record.
And if you really think about it, they're the Brooklyn Nets. Chuck Vaughn is Steve Nash 2.0.
I think he might be worse than Nash. I'm not going to lie. Nash would never just play his starters 12 minutes and then, like, you don't realize that by doing that, you're losing the locker room because players care about their stats.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, but, you know, I get it. But here's the thing, though. That loss to the Heat, that's what the owner.
Yeah, that last loss.
That was a nasty loss, a heartbreaking loss. But hey, listen, that's what Joe Desai wants. He wants competitiveness. He likes to be, heartbroken at the end. And hey, as long as they were competitive, that's good enough, right?
He wants competitive mid. That's what he wants.
Yeah. So that was a perfect game. If you're Joe Desai, like that had Joe Desai picture written all over. It was that game against the Miami Heat. Yeah,
tough loss. The Nets lost by just 1 possession, but the way that game ended, I can't even put it into words. Like, they're just a bad basketball team right now. They don't execute well in any situation. But good thing they're turning down 4 first-round picks from Mikal Bridges.
Yeah,
that's what smart franchises do. That's trying to build a franchise back up. Right.
Now you got Cam Thomas off the bench since his injury coming back.
Yeah, your best scorer is off the bench 20 minutes per game.
And they asked him 2 days ago, they asked him what his thoughts on him coming off the bench since the injury and if he feels comfortable in this position. He says, I don't feel comfortable, but wherever they're going to have me, I'm going to play there.
Comments like that.
Not happy.
Yeah, Jacques Vaughn lost the locker room.
He really has.
He really did. To a big extent, too. Also last night in the NBA, though, the winners of the last 3 MVP awards. Joel Embiid last year, Nikola Jokic 2 years in a row before that. Nikola Jokic, obviously the defending finals MVP. But Embiid gets another one in this matchup.
I think Embiid's going to miss the MVP this season. On the season last year, Jokic should have won. I believe Jokic should have won that over Embiid, but this season, Embiid is the MVP. He is the number 1 option for the MVP pick, but he's not going to play enough games to even be eligible to win it. That's why I think he's going to miss it. He's going to miss the MVP eligible games enough.
Which would be a shame because, the Sixers is good, but he's missed a lot of games due to rest and stuff. He's missed a few games against some big contenders. That's another thing that might hurt his MVP case. But stat for stat or stat line for stat line, he's the best player in the league by far. I mean, it's him and SGA in my opinion for the MVP this year. I mean, look at what he did last night. Embiid, 41 points, a little low on the rebound total, 7 boards, while Jokic had 19. But Embiid doing Jokic-type stuff in the passing category. 10 assists to Jokic's 3 assists last night. So a big win for the Sixers. They won 126-121. Jokic had 25 points along with those 19 boards. So, we'll see what happens down the stretch. I think these two teams play one more game this season. We'll see. The Los Angeles Clippers, who in my opinion, I said this on my my podcast recording, check out therecessbell.com if you want to hear that. Free promo. But the Clippers. Why can't the Clippers win a championship this season?
Because they're the Clippers, Josh. That's why
I know. Like, people say that about your Cowboys too. I get it. But like Harden, and we know we criticize him as a player, but he's fitting like a glove, like the perfect playmaker for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. OKC was down, or they were down to OKC at one point during this game, but OKC fought back. But Paul George, 38 points, 18 points in the fourth quarter. He had an incredible sequence where he hit a three, started shimmying down the sideline, then got a steal, and then did a reverse dunk. Back-to-back plays. Like, yo,
Prime PG's back, baby.
I love to see it.
Against his former team. He looks like OKC Paul George in that game yesterday.
Yes, he did. And against his former team, right. Like, Paul George has had a great season. James Harden said before the game to TNT's Chris Haynes he wants to end his career with the Clippers. He said that before, so we'll see. Well, the Clippers just locked up Kawhi Leonard long-term. They're looking to get a similar deal done with Paul George. So, and Steve Ballmer, their owner, a good owner. Not like, the one we have in New York.
Yep.
Steve Ballmer at the groundbreaking of the new Intuit Dome, the Clippers' new arena. So they're not going to be in I almost called it the Staples Center. The Crypto.com arena. They're not going to share it with the Lakers anymore.
Oh.
So we'll see. Things are looking up for the Clippers, but we'll see if the Clipper curse is still real. The closer we get to April. The Suns came back down from 20 points in the fourth quarter. They beat Sacramento 119-117. Grayson Allen led the way in scoring. About 26, 27 points.
29 points,
29
5
points.
rebounds, 6 assists. And on the defensive end, too. 2 steals, 2 blocks. 9 threes.
How about that? How about Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal all on the court? Grayson Allen's your best player.
Yeah.
At least for a night. That'll do it for around the NBA. A big night tonight. Like I said, Nets and Knicks both in action. See how they do. Both teams facing some adversity right now, but
Grayson Allen's been playing strangely good since Emma Stone said bye to him at the Phoenix game the other day.
yeah, I saw that clip. Are we sure she wasn't waving hi to like Devin Booker or something?
Apparently both Grayson Allen and Emma Stone both are in relationships apparently, but it looked a little.
Yeah, she held that wave a long time too. Like, if it was towards Grayson, that's a good look. Ain't nobody thinking about you otherwise.
Gosh, you don't know what I would do to get away from Emma Stone.
I'll co-sign. She's not really my type, but I'll co-sign that. Still very talented in more ways than one. Speaking of big-time industry female stars, the Taylor Swift game on Peacock, because we know that has something to do with it.
A few million of them were probably Swifties.
Yeah. Which is, it's crazy to me, celebrity culture, because think about how many people that would never watch NFL football a day in their life. And I'm talking to the Swifties right now. Y'all would never watch a football game ever in your life if not for Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce and being at the game. But I guess shout out to Taylor Swift attending in minus 27 degree weather.
Kyle Juszczyk's wife's work for Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes. She's been making a lot of jackets for a lot of wives and fiancés of NFL players. I know the Packers. What's her name? The gymnast.
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles. She made one for her. She made one for Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany. She made one from Taylor Swift. And she made one for Taylor Lautner with an Aiden Hutchinson jacket.
What? She
She is talented. And Kyle Juszczyk is the greatest husband ever because he's on every Twitter thread just being like, yeah, that's my wife.
Yeah, listen, I love to see creative talent take center stage. So good look to Kyle Juszczyk's wife. But and did she happen to make one for Jackson Mahomes?
I know.
A little skimpy one that rides up the halfway up the rib cage. I think that would fit him pretty well.
Like all orange.
Yeah, just like yeah, it just happened to be like jumpsuit color.
Yeah.
Just coincidence.
A gift from the prison.
Right. Listen, man. Dolphins Chiefs, like I said at the start of the show, 23 million streams, the most streamed event in history.
And for what? The game was terrible.
It's a terrible game. It's crazy. The Dolphins, they took some heat off your Cowboys because, the Cowboys at least, prospered through some adversity this season. But Miami, every single time they faced a little adversity, things were outside their comfort level a little bit, they crumbled. Tua Tagovailoa, and I know it was one of the coldest games in history. It wasn't just cold, it was historically cold. But I mean, just never got comfortable. Pat Mahomes looking like this is regular.
Tua didn't have a single red zone drive the entire game. How do you try to win a game without a red zone drive?
Guys,
1 for 12 on third down conversions. The best offense in the entire league all season long. Get up into the playoffs and put a 7-point game up against the Chiefs. Masterclass.
not what you want. A disaster class for the Miami Dolphins.
Disaster class.
Yes.
Nice.
You know, punny. But man, listen, like, what does this mean for the future of not just sports network broadcasting, but these streaming platforms? Because 23 million streams, like the most ever, it just goes to show you, like, the NFL got a drug-like hold on its fans. Because it's some people, like I said, I already had Peacock, but would I have bought Peacock if it meant watching that game? And, you know, sports betting has a lot to do with this too. I feel bad for whoever had Tyreek Hill over 100 yards. It wasn't going to happen with Tua.
You see him in the middle of the field before the game in short sleeves and negative 30 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Tyreek, I think we know you're a tough guy. Like, you can't get close to 2,000 yards 2 straight seasons without being tough. Like, we know you don't have to go out there shirtless or without sleeves or anything. Like, exactly.
Like, what do you got to prove?
I don't know.
Short sleeves? You're crazy. Ain't your mama teach you to put a jacket on?
They say it's a mental thing. I just think mentally you'd be better off wearing, you know, the right clothing. Mm-hmm. But what do we think this means? Like, because the NFL, I'm telling people, they saw how this Amazon Thursday Night Football thing went, and they're like, oh, people are still tuning in. It's not to the same level as cable TV, but these are still good numbers we're making viewership-wise. Now you have a playoff game. I'm going to just say this. I think NFL fans and Swifties and whatever other factors contributed to this, I think we all played ourselves. I think now you're going to try to see, okay, if one worked, why not 2 next year? Mm-hmm. Or why not both conference championship games on Peacock or Amazon or something? And then, listen, I'm telling you, the NFL is just going to keep winning. They're going to get to a point where the Super Bowl might be just exclusively like a pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
I think we all played ourselves with making Chiefs Dolphins maybe the worst game of the weekend into the most streamed event in history. I think we all played ourselves.
Imagine that was a good game.
Like, yeah, exactly. Imagine it's like a 14-14 game late in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. You know how many more streams you would have gotten? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, yeah, pay $5. Well, it don't matter.
I look at my phone, Chiefs up 19 points. The Dolphins look like they're terrible. I'm not putting the game on.
Right. They might have cracked 25 million had it been a close game in the fourth quarter. And I say this, the NFL is going to keep trying to push the envelope. Think about the NBA too, because Adam Silver looks at everything the NFL's doing, and he's like, you know what? Let me try see if I can at least emulate this in some way. What if the All-Star game is on an all-streaming platform one day? Can't get it on cable, only through streaming. What if, you know, dare I say, some playoff games, or they say, oh, they select one playoff series. Okay, this is on Peacock, or something else. And say it's a great series, like we just finished talking about OKC Clippers. What if that's the series? I'm sorry, I might buy Peacock if that's the series that's on exclusively on a streaming platform.
If the NBA did that, that'd be pretty sick, because you got it probably would never happen because you got the league pass and
that's true.
So it'd probably never happen, but it'd be cool. It would be a nice addition, but probably most likely not happening.
I hope not, but I just think that the fact that, like I said, that game, the most streamed event in history, not sporting event, the most streamed event. The NFL seeing that and they're like, oh, we got them. We got them right where we want them.
Like, we beat history on this game. Let's keep doing it.
Yo, I know NFL executives were laughing to the bank. They were like wiping their tears of joy away with $100 bills. Like, I'm sure they couldn't believe it, because it's like, yo, we don't know how this is going to turn out. We've never done anything like this before. a game exclusively on a streaming platform. And they won. Like they always do. The NFL always wins.
If you put Bills Chiefs on like Amazon or Peacock, that would beat that in the next week. It would beat the history again. It really would. Because we would know that the Bills Chiefs game would be a better game. Because we've seen that be a better game.
I have to agree. And time will only tell, where the NFL and maybe the NBA, maybe Major League Baseball, maybe the National Hockey League, where it all goes from here. But listen, soccer games are already on Peacock. I know Corey told me last week that WWE's on Peacock, so that's why he had Peacock in the first place. Some people like Law and Order, Modern Family, shows like that are on Peacock that you can just watch anytime. The Office. Everyone loves The Office.
Me and my mom just watch a ton of TV. That's why we have all the streaming devices.
Yeah. That's most households in America right now. But it's just interesting. I know we had a lot of people, and we've had some past conversations on the show about, how it's a crime against cable TV. Somebody said that once, a little out there, but a crime against cable TV that streaming platforms are taking over and the leagues are so committed to it. But we are the key chess pieces in this. We're the pawns. Because if we're not tuning in, they're not going to keep putting it on streaming platforms. So it's our fault.
Yeah.
We have no one to blame but ourselves if you have to pay $10 to watch the Super Bowl one year.
I don't think they'd do the Super Bowl, though.
Well, we'll see.
They are moneymakers, so.
And greed has no limits, Devin.
Very true.
We will see. The Falcons, just to get into our last leg of the show here. Falcons interviewed, quote unquote, interviewed Bill Belichick. Did the Falcons interview Bill Belichick or did Bill Belichick interview the Falcons?
Yeah, you got a point there.
I'm just laughing at a 6-time Super Bowl champion as a coach, a few more as a defensive coordinator with the Giants. I'm just laughing at somebody with that much jewelry getting interviewed by the Atlanta Falcons, who have never had any prosperity in their franchise history. That's funny.
It's very simple. Just go back home. Giants defensive coordinator. There's an opening.
I would actually pay money to see, with all the reports coming out against Brian Dable and how he treats his coaches. Could you imagine him and Bill Belichick working together?
Going back and forth.
That'd be perfect.
But
if he hated Wink Martindale hated Brian Dable. I can only imagine what their relationship with Belichick would be like.
Yeah, but we got the news yesterday that apparently Belichick is interested in quote-unquote talented yet underachieving teams. So could this Falcons team be a talented but underachieving team after drafting Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson in back-to-back-to-back drafts and doing nothing with it?
They're the definition of talented and underachieving.
100%.
It's them and the Chargers.
Yeah.
And both these teams interview not just Belichick, but Jim Harbaugh as well. So we'll see.
You give Belichick another star quarterback in Justin Herbert, he could probably do something with that.
Oh,
and the weapons that he has, he can make Quentin Johnston not have to make her mom go back to work.
I think he might be a lost cause.
Yeah, maybe.
Bill Belichick, most things are possible.
Not a miracle worker.
Yeah, not a miracle worker though. He doesn't turn water into wine. That's for sure. The Raptors, going back to the NBA, they dealt away Pascal Siakam to the Indiana Pacers. They're tied with the Knicks in the standings right now, but the Pacers get a big piece to their puzzle. They trade away Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and a few first-round picks.
What are the Raptors even trying to accomplish? Because let's be honest, they get R.J. Barrett, they acquire quickly, they move on from OG Anunoby, and now you're moving on from Siakam. So it's really, what are they?
Well, because none of those guys were the future. Pascal was never going to be a contending player when the Raptors will be contending.
Unrestricted free agent this summer.
It was Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes, everything around in Toronto revolves around Scotty Barnes, and they're making this team around him and only him. So, yes, only getting a second-round pick for OG was annoying, but getting RJ and quickly, two young players to match with Scotty Barnes, I like what they're doing over in Toronto and getting these first for Pascal. This is the best outcome you could have gotten for Pascal.
They're 3-5 with RJ and quickly. 3-5.
Well, like I said, this is
No, I know.
not them trying to be a good team.
No,
This
I'm
is
not-
them
I'm not-
rebuilding. This
No,
is them building this
No.
core and young team.
No, I know that. I'm just saying from a Knicks standpoint for everybody.
Well, yeah.
It's like those guys are playing well. Maybe the Knicks should have kept them. Well, they're 3-5. I mean, let's calm. Can we calm down with this idea that these guys they're now going to be superstars because they left the Knicks? Stop.
Yeah, I agree with Ross. They're playing better over in Toronto, but I mean, RJ Barrett had some big games as a Knick too.
They have bigger roles in Toronto too.
That's true. It's not a bad rebuild structure for the Raptors right now.
You got
they have a lot of
Grady
first round
Dick,
picks.
the first rounder last year. You got Scotty
Pause.
Barnes, Emmanuel. That's his name.
I just
Emmanuel
had to.
Quickly, RJ Barrett. Now 4 first round picks. They've got quite a bit of a haul for these guys.
Yeah, Pacers get a big piece. Raptors keep their rebuilding process going. So, before we get out of here, I want to say RIP to the Warriors' assistant coach. I'm going to pull up his name. Passed away due to a heart attack, and the Warriors had to postpone their game today. Just listen. The Warriors have dealt with so much this season. Now, a lot of it is self-inflicted. Obviously, Draymond Green can't stop kicking people in the nuts and punching people in the face. As well as, just roster and flux and, roles all over the place. But,
It's Milujevic,
yeah.
46 years old, dies of a heart attack. Very sad.
Insane. The Warriors, like I said, they've dealt with so much. But Dejan Milojevic dies, 46 years old, hospitalized Tuesday in Salt Lake City. Enjoyed a 15-year playing and coaching career. He joined the Warriors staff in 2021, winning a championship with them in 22. So, rest in peace, and obviously a lot of prayers go out to the family.
Steve Kerr said, and quote, "We are absolutely devastated by Dejan's sudden passing."
It's sudden. It's heart attack. It's no one expected it. Sad to see. A lot of sad news in the sports world right now. I thought we did a good job getting through it on Sports Talk today. I'd like to thank you once again for listening to Sports Talk. On behalf of Ross Levine and Devin O'Shea, myself, Joshua Yamahi, here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.